There's a widespread assumption in modern dating that effort automatically equals attraction. The logic seems straightforward. If you want someone, you initiate. You text first, you make the plans, and you stay highly available. But this approach often traps men in an endless cycle, running constantly just to keep a connection alive. This creates an anxious feedback loop. The initiator feels compelled to maintain a constant presence because deep down there is a quiet fear that if they pause, the other person will simply drift away and forget them. But relentless pursuit doesn't actually build deep emotional attachment. What it builds is absolute predictability. When someone knows they can access your attention at any given second, they never have to think deeply about your presence. When your attention becomes as guaranteed as gravity, your effort stops functioning as a way to build attraction. Instead, it becomes a mechanism for being completely for granted. We can call this constant barrage of attention emotional noise. When one person is constantly initiating and checking in, that thick layer of noise masks the true underlying dynamics of the relationship. This diagram shows exactly how that dynamic functions. One side is constantly pushing energy outward. The other side is relegated to an emotionally passive role. They can merely absorb the validation and the effort without ever needing to generate any energy of their own. This creates a blind spot for the chaser. Because they provide all the energetic weight to keep the connection moving, they have no way of knowing if their partner actually desires them or if they just enjoy the comfort of the validation. If you never turn off that emotional noise, it is impossible to hear whether the other person is actually trying to speak to you. The exact moment that pursuit stops, an immediate, invisible shift happens internally for the person who is receiving all that attention. That steady wave represents certainty, keeping the human brain relaxed. But when that expected attention suddenly flatlines, creating an uncertainty gap, the mind abhors the vacuum. It actively seeks answers, and questions immediately start firing. Did he lose interest? Is there someone else? Because the predictable pattern is broken, routine things are suddenly viewed through a highly analytical lens. Past conversations are mentally replayed. Small moments, and even the silence itself, begin carrying heavy emotional weight. The quiet removal of a predictable stimulus forces the mind to become incredibly active. Absence simply rings louder than a constant presence ever could. This is where the initiator often gets confused. From the outside, this sudden silence usually appears to have zero impact. She might seem completely calm and unaffected, making him assume she simply doesn't care. But human beings are excellent at masking emotional impact. External calm is often just a cover for a highly active, covert monitoring process churning underneath. This emotional audit consists of entirely invisible behaviors: checking if you viewed her stories, noticing when you are online, and constantly anticipating a sudden message. Ultimately, this empty space forces her to answer a very difficult question. Is the feeling of loss actually about missing the man himself, or is it just mourning the loss of the comfortable attention he provided? Stepping back strips away the convenience of easy validation. It forces a person to confront the absolute truth of their own emotional attachment without the noise of constant pursuit getting in the way. Let's be clear, stepping back is not a manipulative dating trick. It is not a punishment, and it is not a tactical game designed to induce panic. Instead, think of that silence as a diagnostic test. It acts as a neutral, investigative boundary that filters out all the emotional noise to reveal the true baseline of the other person's interest. Looking at how this filter functions, it diverges into two absolute outcomes. Either genuine emotional investment drives her to subtly reach out to reconnect, or you are met with total silence, which reveals she was never moving toward you to begin with. It might sting to get no response, but receiving absolute clarity is infinitely healthier than running on an endless treadmill of emotional confusion for years. While the shift in her perspective is significant, the man experiences the most vital psychological change. Endlessly pursuing someone who isn't matching your effort is a slow process of self-abandonment. Halting that pursuit acts as a circuit breaker, allowing a man to recall all that dispersed emotional energy back to himself. When he reallocates that energy into his own purpose, his daily routines, and his internal peace, a profound shift occurs. He cures his own desperate need for external validation. Reclaiming your internal emotional stability shifts how others perceive your value. You stop acting anxious and scattered, becoming a grounded, immovable mass in the current. Healthy, authentic connection is magnetically drawn to grounded self-respect. The right partner will naturally respond to your presence, and they never require you to abandon your own peace just to keep their attention alive.